my cards right. Up the ante, won blackjack all night. Roll the dice, let it ride. Water the odds, I got snake eyes.
You know, I learned really early on from my dad about really understanding the joy of working. And I often will say, no one can pay you enough money to do a job you don't love. I see a lot of people who are extremely unhappy. And when I ask them, why do you continue to do it? They go, well, I'm being paid pretty well. And I have to question that to say, really? Because I think you could be paid as well, if not better, doing something you love. My dad had a passion. And, you know, it sounds funny to some people, but my dad loved to take in clothes and go back to the spotting board. And it was a challenge to renew and revitalize those clothes and to make them look like new and to put things so that the crease in it was perfect. He had great joy in doing that. In fact, years after he sold his dry cleaners, he wanted to continue working. And my sister owned a business in Raleigh, and it was a rental company, and they branched out and were making designer linens. And when my sister opened a laundry, my dad was in heaven, because he could go back to his days of when he was a dry cleaner. And one night, my sister came downstairs, and my dad was working late. And she walked up, and he was at a board where some of the linens were sitting. And she heard him kind of whimpering. And she goes, Daddy, are you all right? And he turned around, and he said, I love spotting. And my sister started to laugh. I mean, the man was there at 8 o'clock at night, standing there getting the spots out of the linens, and it was pure joy. He had a passion for it. And so I think what he taught me was to always love what you do, because when you love it, it's not work. And I feel that way about my job. I go out, I meet with people, I get to know their business. I am passionate about it. It's not work for me. I mean, sure, getting up and getting to an airport at 4:30 in the morning is not always fun. I will give you that. But when I get on that job, I love it. In fact, I laugh at people when they say, well, have you thought about retirement? And I go, why would I retire? I love what I do. I mean, certainly people need to make plans for the sustainability of their business. But if everyone could be as happy as my dad was doing that job, and by the way, just so that you know, my dad was a trained CPA. He was the first one in his family to graduate from college. He was not an uneducated man. And yet what gave him joy was doing a great job, working with his hands and connecting with his customers and doing something that made them happy. And that's what I learned. And I encourage people to do that. You know, don't worry about the money. The money will come. Do what you love. I really believe in that.
Play my cards right. Up the ante, won blackjack all night. Roll the dice, let it ride. Water the odds, I got snake eyes.
This podcast exists in large part because of KazCM, the content marketing business inside KazShort Inc. KazCM is excited to bring the content marketing services used at KazShort to you. Learn more by visiting KazCM.com. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It's a big deal to us. We hope you found value in it, and if you did, we would be incredibly grateful if you gave us a review on iTunes. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and feel free to share it with anyone you know. More than anything, thank you again for listening. We appreciate it.